Hello, I'm TJ Wright. Welcome to the stitchscapes tutorial. This tutorial will walk you through step by step on how to create this design. Don't be afraid to bring your own unique creative voice to this project and make it your own. Thank you so much for purchasing and happy stitching. Welcome to your first step of this stitchscapes kit. I like to start by taking the embellishments and laying them out in a design that I find pleasing. But you can make it your own. Move the pieces around, see what you like to do. This kit, these are actually agates. So once you're set on a layout, set them aside, and then trace out these stones in particular with a little pen or pencil, just to get a rough idea of where these pieces are going to line up. You could even do your sticks if you wanted. Just draw a real light line, because we're going to be stitching over the line and you won't be able to see it. In the next video, we'll start stitching. So now it's time to start stitching, and you can see that I have some real faint lines of where the objects are going to go, the embellishments are going to go. And with your needle and thread, and I'm using Valdani. The color is M78. This is a variegated, kind of like an amber and green, very fall looking. And so we're going to start doing a little outline. We're going to just follow this little line that I've sketched on here. And I'm just doing some running stitches, leaving a little bit of a gap, not a huge gap. And basically just following that line all the way around. Just come up through the back, down through the front. The stitches don't all have to be the same. And this is great with this variegated yarn, or thread, mind you, because you can really see the transitions. It adds a lot of interest to the piece. So just keep working your way around. And then once you get all the way around, then we're going to echo it, and we're just going to go around again. And I'm going to show you another piece where I have completed that. And that is here. So you can see where once I made it all the way around, I just stepped out just a little bit and started going around and around. And I did it for the smaller one down here as well. You can do this way, or you can choose another way. So this is a stitch that I like to use for background stitching. It's just a slanted stitch, and we're variegating the sizes and trying to create a randomness to it. And I'll be adding in with some of the other colors, the amber colors and the gold. This is a beautiful variegated brown from Valdani, and the color is H212. I wanted to show you how I go about doing this, just creating an angle. They don't have to be perfect. I'm going to pause the video and come back and show you how I feather in some of the other colors. One last stitch here. So I wanted to show how I'm adding in other colors to the brown, and this is a variegated amber color. This is 0510. Actually, I think it's an O, not a 0. And then 0532, I'm also going to add in there. But I wanted to show you how you can feather in these other colors to the brown. Again, just using this random slanted stitch. And as we move up the piece, then we'll add some width and dimension, because I have planned to put some sticks there. So I'm going to pause the video and come back when I have all of this stitching done. So now that I have the different colors added and feathered in, let's have a look at how our sticks lay in here. And you can see how it really starts to come alive with the stitching around it. And then we'll be adding some French knots to this, putting knots around here and here in the next video. So now we're going to add some French knots, which I just love for this design. And I'm going to be using the 2 shades of the amber that we were using before and this gold color, which is H205 Valdani. And I don't know if I wanted to show how I do a French knot. So I have my single strand of a single strand, and come up through the top, wrap around your needle 3 times, and then go back down close to where you came back up through the back and pull through. And I'm just going to do these random across the whole piece. Let's see if I can hold it up here at the camera. So 3 times, and then bring it back down. You want to hold on to your thread, and you don't want it so tight around your needle that you can't pass your needle through. And there you have a French knot. One, two, three. Bring it back down through and pull your thread through. Here's another one. 1, 2, 3, and then back down through. I'm going to pause the video and do some more of these throughout the whole piece and switch colors, and then I'll show you at the end how they all came about. So you can see here that I've added in some other colors, and I've done some around the echo quilting or echo stitching that I did. I did leave some open spots where I can add some knots later for when we attach the mounting board. So you can put as many in as you'd like, but I think this is good for now, and we'll add some more when we add the mounting board. So now it's time to attach our embellishments, and I'm using the gold shade that's in your kit. This is Valdani H205. I've threaded my needle with a double thread, and we'll start with this large agate. I like to start with the sturdier pieces and then move on to the embellishments that are more fragile. So you want to come up alongside the agate, and you can see that I kind of have it positioned slightly behind it as I'm coming up. I like the idea of the thread looking as though it's coming from underneath. And the stones lend themselves to having some irregularities in them so that the thread catches and kind of stays put. So I'm going across it twice. And it's in there pretty sturdily. That's a mouthful. And then you can see there's like a little notch right here. So I want to take advantage of that. So coming up there and coming across. And this will really secure this agate in place. And again, coming up alongside and going across 2 times. Now you could go down and just secure it that way, or if you wanted, you could create a little knot effect by weaving your needle around some of these threads. And I'm actually going to pick up a couple of them. Make sure that your thread is nice and taut when you do this. And it just creates kind of like a little bundle there on top. And then come back down. And it's nice and snug in there. It's not going to go anywhere. And we'll tie off. Next, I'm going to add this smaller one. Once I have that added, I'll come back and show you how I whip stitch the sticks in place. I'm going to pause. So you can see how I have attached the second agate, and rather than go all the way across, I went under this loop here and then back over the top to secure it, since how it was kind of like a triangle shape. I've attached these 2 smaller pieces of stick, and I wanted to show the little whip stitch. Super simple, pretty basic. I just wanted to show you what I do. Come up through the back, down through the front, over your stick, and I'm using a double thread like I did before with the agates. And there you have it. all attached, and now in the next video, will attach the mounting board using the French knots. So we're in the final steps of our stitchscapes, and now it's time to attach the mounting board. So I have it positioned in the center here, and I like to start in the center of the piece, and using a single thread in your needle, come up through the back. And the French knots are excellent for concealing this. So you do have to, takes a little bit of effort to get through that mounting board, but you can. I lotioned my hands up and so they're a little slippery. So there's our first knot, and checking to make sure that you're still centered, moving over to the side, wrapping your needle 3 times like we did before, and then coming back down through. And creating those knots. This is a really nice way of concealing how we're attaching. Need to put, I had to go grab some thimbles there. Now we'll move over to the side. I don't know if you've ever used these little silicone grips, but they work great, especially when you do a lot of stitching like I do. So I'm going to do one more, and I'm going to pause the video. Hope I lost. And work around my piece, and then when I'm done I'll show you how it's all finished off. And there, oh, and I'll be back in a minute. Okay, so you can see that I've added a few more French knots, and how it just is amazing how you can attach it, and no one knows that that's how it's attached. So make sure that you do some robust knots on the back so that they don't pull through the mounting board. But there it is, all secured. And next is to apply the mounting squares. So now it's time to attach our foam mounting squares. So I've taken one side of the paper backing off and leaving the other intact. And I like to apply these across in a grid fashion. And this is so that you can secure it to a substrate or another mounting board. It helps preserve the piece in long term. I don't like to glue if I can avoid it. And you want, when you apply these on the back, look and see where you might have something heavy, like this agate here is a little bit robust, so you want to make sure that you get a mounting square right there so that it doesn't come loose. These mounting squares are designed for paper. They do not work well on fabric. I have tried, and it looks like it's going to work the first time, but then it doesn't, and next thing you know, you've got a piece falling off in its frame. So learn from my mistakes and attach to something that is paperish in nature. There you have it. You can just peel off the other paper backing when you go to mount it in your frame, and your piece is done. Congratulations. I think it looks really, really smart, and I'm sure that you did something really creative with yours. Enjoy.